How's it going, everyone? Paul with Adaptable Survival. What I want to do in today's episode is talk about 5 ways that we gain and lose heat. Stick with me as we dive into them. So I'm just out hiking a little bit today in an area that I'm out in all the time, just looking around. But one topic that I want to discuss is 5 ways that we lose and gain heat. Now, it's going to be situationally dependent on all of them, how much they're going to affect you, that sorts of things. But I want to cover each one, kind of give you a simple breakdown, just so you can kind of get those in your head, kind of start looking at those and understanding the principles behind them. So just to name them off, before we dive into them, we have respiration, perspiration, radiation, convection, and conduction. So the way I have arranged these is not in any kind of significant importance, but I wanted to get the idea in your head of what's happening internally inside your body to the outside factors. So that's kind of why I listed them in the way that I did. So looking at number 1 is our respiration. So anytime we're breathing in and out, we're losing heat and gaining cool air or hot air in, depending on the time of season. Right now it is the middle of January. I know if you look around here, it doesn't really look like it because it is kind of unusually warm for the middle of January here in Wisconsin. But as you're breathing in that cool air, that's cooling the inside temperature of your body. So one of the things that I personally use when I'm out during the winter is I have some sort of buff that I just wear over my neck just to kind of trap in a little bit more heat. But if I need to, I can always pull that up over my face. The thing you want to keep in mind with each breath in and out, because you're heating that material as you're breathing out, it's going to become wet from moisture that you're expelling through your breath. And then as you breathe in, it's cooling that material. So that material is constantly being soaked. So there's a whole host of other issues along with that, but topic for another day. But just think about every time that you're breathing in and out, you are gaining and losing heat with every breath. So let's look at perspiration. With perspiration, what's happening is the surface of your skin is saturating with moisture or is saturated with moisture to help draw heat away from the body. And I will dive into convection, conduction here in a minute, but with moisture, getting moisture on that outer layer of your skin, the outermost organ of your body, it's trying to draw out heat from your body so it can kind of get rid of that. Now, think of this when you're working out. You're moving around, you're super active. Another thing that is happening as your body's heating up is another factor, and that is your body is burning off stored fuel inside your body. Because now, look at it in the same way of a vehicle's engine. There's internal combustion going on there, so there's energy being produced. Anytime fat, carbs, or proteins are broken down, they release energy and also release heat from that energy breakdown. So what's happening with the body at that point is it's trying to expel that extra body heat to get back to some sort of homeostasis, some balance in the system here. So with that heat loss or gain, depending on what you're doing, as if there's a ton of moisture on the outside of your body, it's either going to draw away or pull into. Think of it when you're sitting in a jacuzzi or a sauna. The outermost part of your skin is becoming saturated with moisture. If you're in a jacuzzi, you're submerged in hot water, or if you're in a sauna, you are surrounded by hot air, so your body is absorbing that heat. Or if you're in a cold lake or the middle of winter and you find yourself naked and afraid in the woods, your body is pulling in that cold moisture that is around you. So let's take a look at radiation now. So essentially what's happening, like the analogy I spoke to with working out, as your body breaks down any sources of energy within your body, that natural breakdown process creates energy, creates heat that fuels your body and raises your body's temperature. Now, if you ever stood next to someone or even yourself after physical activity, you can feel some radiating body heat come off of yourself or that person. I do apologize if you hear some road noise. There is a country road about a quarter mile up over this hill here, so naturally it all echoes down here. But with radiation, let's look at it in a more broad term. Basically, it's either your body expelling heat outwards from itself, or if you're standing next to a fire, have a reflective tarp up to radiate some of that captured heat back into your body. Those are two ways our body is either gaining or losing heat. So let's talk about convection now. Now think of this as that household appliance, the convection oven. What's happening there? So you have whatever you're cooking on the grate, on a pan, or whatever, and what's happening is the heat that's surrounding it. Same thing with an oven, is that heat that's surrounding it is cooking that, whether it's meat, you're baking something, it's cooking it from the outside inwards. Our body goes through a similar process when we're outdoors. Now, if you're out on a super windy day, inevitably you're gonna feel cold. Because what is happening is all of that cold air that's blowing onto you and around you is slowly drawing heat from your body. Another situation outdoors where this happens is if you are in a hammock. Now, I've learned this the hard way myself, even in the middle of summer. Strung up a hammock, sleeping in the middle of the night, woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, freezing to death because I didn't have any sort of insulation below me to protect me from that convective heat loss. So when you're going outside, if you're going on a camping trip or going, if you find yourself in a survival situation, let's say, if you are, in a windier environment or windier weather, try to get out of that, because that is going to cause a lot of heat loss to your body very, very quickly, because the air mass is way larger than our body mass. Okay, so let's talk about the last way our bodies gain or lose heat, with conduction. Now, if you've ever laid directly on the ground, or let's say a concrete basement, to speak to more people, or if you walked around barefoot on the concrete when it's a little bit colder outside, almost instantly you feel your feet start getting cold. What's happening is that larger surface area that you're walking on, because typically the ground is significantly larger than our feet, it's automatically going to start pulling out some of the heat from your feet. Didn't mean to sound like Dr. Seuss and rhyme there, but we're there. If you read the literature when it comes to medical and survival and all that, the first things you're always going to find that get cold are your extremities, whether that's your fingers, your feet. So making sure you do what you can to reduce any conductive heat loss is going to only help you whatever situation you may find yourself in. Walking out to the mailbox, backpacking and camping, or in a survival situation. That's why you usually find people using a ground sheet, a sleeping pad, and then whatever sleep system they decide to go with, whether that's quilt, sleeping bag, anything like that. We'll dive into insulation in another video, but you want to make sure that there is a barrier between your body and any kind of surface that is going to draw heat out of your body. So with today's episode, my goal was to begin the discussion of some of the next layer of information after the outdoor skills series of videos that I'm doing. I'm not completely all the way through that series, but I want to start layering in, if I could speak, some other information that goes a little bit deeper than just that surface level information that we're discussing. Now, making sure that we control our core temperature and making sure that it doesn't get too hot and doesn't get too cold is going to alleviate a host of medical issues that we could be exposed to. Now, for myself, I went to the Adirondacks a couple years ago to do a winter survival course. I wore the wrong size boots, my insulated boots, that is, like my muck boots. I bought the wrong way. So I had to wear one pair of boots, toe box froze over. Long story short, I have nerve damage in my toes, can still feel them thankfully, but I have to be more cognizant of keeping them warm, because once they get cold, basically that's all it's roast for me. My feet are just going to be cold and I'm going to have to suffer, or I'm going to have to go inside, or essentially just put them in a fire. But doing things that help reduce that exposure to whether losing heat or absorbing cold or becoming frozen is paramount anytime you head outdoors. So I want to start that discussion here in this video. Like I had said, I do apologize if you're here picking up any road noise on this mic, as there is that country road quarter mile over the hill here, but I tried my best to try and get away from that noise. If there's any topic specifically with survival you want me to cover, let me know in the comment section down below. Man, maybe I shouldn't shot videos today because I can't talk. Let me know down below, because I will try my best to get back to you every single comment down there. Like I said, sometimes it just gets out of control and too hard to keep up with, but I do my best to answer all of your questions and at least tell you I appreciate you for watching the channel. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, because that gets more eyes on the channel, helps people see the community that we're building here, helps bring them into that community so we can grow our knowledge base and learn together and grow together. As always, this has been Paul with Adaptable Survival. Adapt your mind, your body, and your gear.